¡Empezamos! ¿Qué? ¿Un trailer?
Tenemos trailer.
Destroying two dragons saved countless lives, but it also created a devastating magical imbalance. Unique energy spectrums from the dead dragons surged across the globe. Heroes rallied to the Crystal Desert to stand against a renegade god. Will you too now answer that call?
¡Wow!
Hello everyone, thanks for joining us today as we announce the next expansion of 6 episodes with 6
Y vamos a hacer lo de los
new
poquitos y
zones,
nos...
plus new fractals and raids, PvP and World vs. World updates, legendary weapons and armor. Let's take a sneak peek.
Venga, venga.
Vamos, chavales.
Vámonos. ¿Otro trailer?
Commander, there's something I have to tell you.
¡Rico, rico, rico!
Went into the mists after my sword, but I found something else.
Los dioses. Por favor. ¿Eh? Estos son los de los mapas. ¡La fisura! ¡Es la fisura!
Refugees are pouring in from Alona.
If he kills an elder dragon, Tyria will never recover.
They cannot stand in the glory of Balthazar's light.
¡Era una hidra! Sí, era una hidra.
Are you right this wrong?
I just can't believe one of the gods gave up on us.
Escape my wrath. When I am done, I will be the only god.
Quiero los que... ¡Ah! ¡Vaya! Sí que sí, tío.
The next expansion for Guild Wars 2, Path of Fire. Path of Fire continues the story right where we left off, tracking Balthazar as he hunts an elder dragon. We're adventuring into the Crystal Desert for the first time since the original Guild Wars. This is the same Crystal Desert where the friendly dragon Clint once lived. The same Crystal Desert where humans once went to commune with their gods. It's been cut off from the outside world for 250 years, and now it's time to return. Path of Fire contains 5 new open-world zones. They're huge. These are the largest zones we've ever shipped. And because there's so much land to cover, this is the perfect time to introduce mounts.
¡Bien!
El conejo, por favor,
Each mount has its own unique movement ability, and you can use these abilities to explore every nook and cranny of the desert. We're also introducing 9
¡No va a ser inspiración!
that will evolve your profession with all new tactics and combat abilities.
¡Sí! ¡El
These are the core features of Path of Fire. We'll talk a bit about each of these today, and then we'll tell you how and when you can play all this for yourself.
Güey, ¿te imaginas que dice hoy? ¿Sabes? Mira.
Yo traigo el portátil.
Sí.
Path of Fire, we're returning back to the Crystal Desert and to Northern Alona.
Northern
We want
Alona.
to go back to a place that means a lot to players and has history for the
Mike
franchise.
Zeta.
But we wanted to look at
Este va a ser el nuevo boss, el Big Boss.
The last time we visited the Crystal Desert was in Guild Wars Nightfall. That was 250 years ago, so a lot has changed in that time.
Ignóralo.
There are iconic locations and landmarks that are very recognizable for players who are familiar with the Guild Wars franchise, but at the same time, we're building the lore and the story in such a way that if you weren't there for the
Es
beginning,
la
it's
roca del
absolutely
augurio.
fine. We're going to help bring you along for
Este
this ride.
está. Este está.
There's a crisis going on in Alona, in an area that we have not been back to in 250 years.
Path of Fire starts with reports that Balthazar has been wreaking havoc in the desert.
Balthazar is the human god of war and fire. Last we had heard that the gods had kind of stepped away from Tyria.
Human players have been worshipping him since Guild Wars 1. But then he shows up and he's not benevolent, right? He has his own goals and he clearly doesn't care about who gets harmed in the way. Everyone in Alona has the exact same questions.
Why are the gods walking amongst us? Does this mean the gods are coming back?
We don't know what he hopes to achieve at this point, and that's what you and everyone in the region is trying to figure out.
Palawa
Qué
Jogo has
guapo,
risen
tío.
into power. He has brought with him an army of undead, and he has totally warped the culture that is there. The civilians believe that he is the rightful
Mira la cara de
the
Haru.
rightful king.
How is this region dealing with these crises? What different
What?
powers are taking place?
¡Hola!
How are they trying to solve it?
Cara,
And
mira.
how can you as the player try to help?
¡Juan! ¡Son pagancactus!
Yo quiero uno. You're going to encounter
Esto es separación hueso.
Balthazar's army.
Living armor created only to serve Balthazar. They're ruthless and they're just dedicated to
¿Habéis
achieving.
visto un pavo surfeando en el escudo? Eso es de Gilgamesh, eso es de Zelda, colegas.
Weakened the army of the ruler of the land, Palawa Jogo.
Undead forces, they still have some remnants of memories. They're sentient, but they will do anything for their master.
You've also got Kralkatork and the Branded.
Mindless elemental stripped of their original
Estamos muy
self
jodidos,
by
eh.
Kralkatork's power.
And of course, the player is being asked to, come do the hero thing.
So,
Yes!
Comprando needs to form a new coalition here in the desert.
Path of Fire has a great combination of old friends and new, who all have very different perspectives on Balthazar.
You've got
Esa reina.
warriors like Ritlog, and you've got
Venga, venga.
Casimir, and these people all get together to help the commander, the player.
Espera, ¿no había Guild Wars 1 no?
Path of Fire is going to bring 5 whole new maps to the game.
Mami.
5 maps that are bigger than any map we've done before.
We'll see things that have shifted the landscape and see things in a very unique way.
So when people talk about deserts, they think sand, flat stretches, but that's not actually true, right?
It's not just, one massive desert that we're exploring, it's all these different biomes coming together.
The maps go tall, the maps go wide, the maps go under and around in places. We've really decided to bring exploration and discovery back to the forefront of Guild Wars 2. There's elements that make each map unique, but we've also got elements that kind of tie all the maps together.
We're gonna have bounties now that players can hunt dangerous creatures that have been threatening the people of Alona, world events, bosses. With the mounts, of course, we're gonna have races, content both old and new to get players engaged.
¡Guapo!
In Path of Fire, we really wanted to get back to the roots of
Uy,
what
es un
made Guild Wars
canguro,
2
¿al conejo?
unique and
Ahora el
fantastic.
canguro.
People who are playing through the main story will really enjoy both the depth and the breadth of experiences they are able to have.
The interesting
El hype en el chat es
area,
real.
if they go just a little bit further, they'll run into
Massive maps that are fully explorable, freedom that we haven't necessarily seen as in-depth as when we launched with the original Guild Wars 2.
There's some really cool surprises we're building in. I want them to find this
Sí.
world as
Oh.
exciting, interesting, and complex as anything we've ever created. And I want them to feel like they have a place
Son
to
Juagans estos, güey. Son Juagans, pero me recuerdan a los escarabajos.
Es un cactus, tío.
Monturas, venga, va, monturas. ¡Vamos! Monturas Wars
In
2.
Path of Fire, we wanted to build upon the mastery system that we started with Heart of Thorns.
So we're introducing mounts for the first time into Guild Wars 2.
Oh, yeah.
Historically in games, mounts are about traveling fast. To us, mounts are so much more. A phrase we use a lot in the office is the joy of movement. It should feel exciting to move across the Alolan Desert in a variety of ways. Each mount has its own movement ability, its own places that it can get to and no other mount can. It really just kind of strengthens that feeling of
Me gusta que
exploration.
tengan ¡Wow! Yes.
Mounts are designed to be these companions that you have that are helping you traverse the world, but in addition to that, they're part of our mastery system. So it's additional horizontal progression. The idea here is that the mounts themselves are your ally. They're not just a creature that you're riding. They're a companion that's taking you on this journey that allows you to get across puzzles in ways that we hadn't thought possible before now.
The first mount that players get access to
Mira, madura de
is the
guapa.
Raptor, which has this enormous leap. It can jump across canyons, over roofs.
This can be used to reach areas that might be off limits normally to a player.
Mounts are not really intended to be a combat tool, they're more of a movement tool, but all of the mounts have a single skill that they can use to engage you into combat.
The Raptor's engage skill is this
Oh,
tail
buena.
spin.
It can like pull enemies together, so it's really good for starting off big fights. The next mount most players will encounter is the Springer, which is kind of like a mutant bunny or a slightly cuddlier jackalope. It has this leap that takes it up really high in the air.
It's a charged up jump. And the longer that you charge out,
No,
the
te
higher
digo.
up you'll go.
And it can also be used to get access to some really fantastic stuff.
Guau, habrá que explorar un
The Skimmer is a really interesting mount. It's this
Esta me encanta.
creature with
La manta.
wings and a strange mystical vibe.
He always hovers some distance over the ground. That means he also hovers over things like water or other things that normally would stop your motion.
If you're interested in getting to the most forbidding areas, it's going to be really awesome to have the skimmer. The jackal is a beast all unto itself. It's created with magical energies, it's living dust.
Its primary movement tool is to blink forward a very short distance, so you can use it to cross short gaps. Unlike the raptor, he's able to change direction midair, so you can solve certain puzzles that need precise directional movement.
Oh, snap.
Wow,
Some really interesting things for players to do. Each mount is a tool. When you come to a space, there's different ways to get through the same places, different ways to approach. There's something really fun just about being in the crystal desert, moving
Esa está muy
this
chula.
way. And that just opens up the possibility of building places that aren't like anything players have seen in Guild Wars before.
¿Montura legendaria?
No creo. No, quizás aspectos.
Aspectos porque las gemas son muy malas. Especializaciones de élite.
Venga.
La Sirius. Wow.
With Pathfinder, we're offering 9 new elite specializations, one for each of the classes. And the idea behind specialization is another way to customize your places.
In a lot of ways, that gets back to what Guild Wars has been about from the beginning. Character progression doesn't just mean getting better, getting more powerful. Character progression means having new options. More things that I can do, more strategies that I can employ.
What that means for the player is that they can experience the game in a lot of different ways.
Path of Fire will present you with the options to play the profession that you've known and loved in a new fashion, and in doing so, shake the world.
Fireball.
The Guardian Elite specialization is called the Firebrand. He specializes in burning his enemies and conjuring magical tomes that he can use to support his allies.
Whoa.
They're the book.
Buena esa.
They've
Muy
got
lo demás.
access to all these secret histories and these tomes that give them access to new skills really quickly.
It's going to be giving up instant support for your allies in favor of casted support. The benefits of Guardians taking the Firebrand are that you're going to have a lot more focused support available to you.
The weapon that they're wielding is the axe, very offensive, up close and personal means of eradicating the enemy.
You've been entrusted with these secrets, and you have to protect them with your life.
Oh, me encanta.
Interesting changes is the Necromancer, who gets the Scourge specialization.
They're rejecting Palawa Joko and finding this kind of alternate approach to necromancy in the desert, so they're there to help protect the souls that Joko's trying to take control over.
What the Necromancer is going to do is he's going to give up his Death Shroud, and instead he's going to place his life force onto the earth and protect allies from those locations.
Tío, necromante super.
Control and
Brutal.
options that the regular necromancer would not have.
The Scourge gets the torch as an offhand weapon, protecting their allies with it, and lighting the way to, well, damnation for their enemies.
Oh, buena.
The specialization for the thief is the Deadeye. They run with the rifle.
The rifle gives them a lot more range. It lets them tackle certain
Está guapo,
from a
Ya
distance.
ves, buena
Normally, they'd have to face up front.
Un Widowmaker.
A contract to take out a particular individual, and then they execute on that.
The Deadeye would have me terrified, you know, that there's someone out there stalking me, waiting for me to make a
Buah, esto mundo contra mundo, colega. Exacto.
mistake. They're assassins. They're trained hunters. Great to
DPS
have
a
on
una
your
sola
side.
persona a distancia.
Don't get them upset.
Vamos a eso.
Specialization, the Mirage focuses on being a very deceptive combatant in close melee range.
They blend into basically whatever their surroundings are, camouflaging themselves so that you can't see them, and while they're doing this, they can strike at you from multiple directions.
The other interesting thing about the Mirage is that it has a different dodge mechanic. They have a blur effect that allows attacks to pass through them rather than them moving out of the way of the attack.
Oh,
The idea that
buena
there are
esa.
folks who now can manipulate the desert itself to kind of provide power to their illusions and phantasms. I think it's a really cool direction for the Mesmer to step in.
Spellbreaker, que
The
es.
warrior specialization is called the Spellbreaker, and I guess as the
Con
name
dagas,
implies,
tío.
it's
Es
a
doble,
warrior who kind of specializes in fighting magic users.
These folks were members of the Sun Spear Order, chosen guardians of Alona. When the order was smashed, they picked up stopping powerful wizards was the best way to protect people.
They wield daggers, and they have become so ridiculously focused at perceiving magic that now they're able to actually cut magic off of their foes.
So they've got these incredibly powerful retaliatory abilities. They've got the ability to just stop skills from working in an area or strip the enemy's brains. You don't just challenge your enemy where they're weak, you challenge them where they're strong and make them
Es un ofensivo, ¿sabes? Es como, en vez de...
Weaver is an elementalist who has decided that they are going to specialize in the desert in wielding multiple attunements at once.
No puede ser.
cycle through
Múltiples elementos a la vez, no puede ser.
The Weaver is combining them and creating these new elements out of this kind of hybrid magic.
The Weaver can have 2 fire skills, 2 water skills, and then a 5th skill that is a fire and water skill simultaneously.
The weapon that we're going to be wielding is one that elementalists have long requested, the sword. They're picking up the access to imbue their blades with sabers of lightning, earthly hilts.
Playing the Weaver has this really interesting rhythm to
Acaban de mejorar el...
is really cool. You can
Más aún. Pero es que, por ejemplo, a mí el Tempe solo me gustaba por las habilidades de...
Sí,
de cuerno de encima o de así, ¿sabes?
Era como una...
Era como una ampliación.
Exacto.
Esto cambia un huevo. Soul Mist, sí, por favor, tu vida de verdad. Oh, buena.
They become their bear. They become their
What? Oh.
They take on the essence of these animals and tear through opponents.
They also gain access to the dagger as a main hand weapon.
Buena esa.
Slicing dice with both components, crossing into close range, as well as crippling from a distance.
It works really well with some of the new pets that we're adding for rangers in Alona.
Renegados.
A
mí no me interesan los arcos, pero a ver qué tal.
And she kind of bestows on the player her rebellious spirit that she used to overthrow the Flame Legion. And what this kind of manifests as is the ability to ambush opponents. You can summon members of her Char warband to bolster your allies. Fire arrows into a portal into the mist that come out of a different portal behind the enemy.
What's really exciting about the Renegade is the idea that standing up to powerful, intimidating foes because you know what's right and you know you'll win it.
The Holosmith is the engineer's elite specialization.
A ver si lo hacen útil por una vez.
Take a very clean look at energy in particular and find ways to bend it to enhance their strikes.
You can have this kind of interesting multi-weapon playstyle. You can do an attack where you pull out a holographic hammer and you hit him with the hammer, and then you can pull out some holographic guns and you shoot them with the guns.
In the process, they
within
they stay tuned in this kind of heated mode, they will eventually explode.
The idea of bending light to be a weapon, I think, is really cool.
Guapísimo, muy bien, muy bien. A ver en la práctica, pero muy bien.
Elite specializations are a really fun way for us to explore different ways to play the same character.
They push the bounds of what they've done before.
You get to choose how your character exists in the world, what they do, how they do it, and these elite specializations allow you another step in customizing the character to meet that end.
Qué guapo el escenario.
Guapísimo todo. Guapísimo.
And that is Path of Fire. It's a rich experience that will take you to the sands of the Crystal Desert, pit you against new foes, and change the way you fight and explore the world. An epic story, 5 immense new open world zones, mounts that allow you to move through Tyria in all new ways, and 9 new elite specializations. Plus, a brand new guild hall.
Bien, bien. Qué guapa,
Guapísimo. Standalone expansion. You don't need to already own the base game or Heart of Thorns. And we're also offering a bundle deal with both expansions. Everything you need to know is at guildwars2.com. The final question is always...
¿Cuándo?
Well, I have some good news. We'll be running a preview experience event next weekend. You don't have long to wait. The gates to the Crystal Desert open in less than 2 months. Launches. More excited to share with you what we've been creating with Path of Fire. As always, it's you, the fans, who make all this possible. Thanks again for your support and for being an integral part of Guild Wars. We'll see you in the Crystal Desert.
Vale, creo que... ¡Oh! Bravo. Estoy tirando billetes. Tomando estos billetes, joder.
Ay,
no sé si se ven la tirada de billetes, si se ve mi tirada. Vale, chicos.
Espérate, vamos a...
Vale,
vamos a cambiar.
Cambiamos, no sé si van a hacer un post-show o algo así en plan...
A nosotros no nos interesa.
No, pero prefiero no van a enseñar cosas nuevas. Vale,
¿Queréis dejarme un momento para asimilar todo esto?
Vale, chicos, hay algo importante que me ha llamado mucho la atención, aparte de todas las features de la expansión, y es que cada expansión se compra aparte. Si tú quieres jugar Maguma, te compras Heart of Thorns. Si quieres comprar Desierto de Cristal, te compras... O sea, puedes hacer el juego Vanilla e irte al Desierto de Cristal, o puedes hacer el juego Vanilla e irte a Maguma.
Está muy bien.
Pero es un poco gitano, porque claro, la historia tiene una continuidad, entonces no puedes hacer Desierto de Cristal sin haber hecho Maguma.
El tema es de historia, no. Pero hay un bundle, a ver cómo será el bundle.
A lo mejor en el bundle meten la puta historia, como no hicieron con Thorns.
Como dice iBridge, 22 de septiembre lo dije, mi cumpleaños es el 30.
Yo lo dije, que finales de septiembre iba a salir la expansión.
Perfecto.
Vamos a hablar de la expansión.
Primero, chicos, por favor, si vais a comprarla en digital, compradla en el link de Hanu, ¿vale? Os cuesta lo mismo la expansión, ¿vale? Y ayudáis a Hanu, ¿vale? Ayudáis a mi canal a que pueda hacer.
Ayudáis al mendigo.